Iran, the ancient land of Persia. Once the largest empire of the world, Iran's vast oil reserves and strategic location made it a significant geopolitical power, whose fiercely independent nature often led to confrontations with the Western world. Over the years, Iran transformed from a secular monarchy to an Islamic republic, witnessing periods of both prosperity and struggle. And despite growing restrictions on freedom of expression, there are a few artists articulating their reality. This is Awaaz Iran.
Roody.
Well, I am a 22-year-old rapper, or as we call ourselves here, Rapcon in Farsi. I produce music, I draw, I do a lot of things, and my music for me has been a way to express my freedom and things I wanted to say.
تو شکاف سنگ تاج آفتاب به سر جوون خام اگه بجوشم تاجت میزنه زنگ رو دوش بار خشم سنگین زیاده بس سر بالا شیب کم گرفته بوی گند نمیشینه.
My motivation for making music was to illustrate my experience growing up close to streets in Tehran. I remember Tehran as a very more happy city, but the city fell somewhat into disrepair in the decades following the revolution of 1979.
The Iranian Revolution of 1979 was a massive citizens' movement that saw the fall of the monarchy and the birth of the Islamic Republic of Iran. The Shah had long been considered an ally of the West, and his attempts to rapidly modernize Iran had led to economic and social degradation. His authoritarian response to any form of dissent further alienated him from his own people. His most critical voice was the popular religious cleric Imam Ayatollah Khomeini, who led a unified opposition and took over in 1979. But though the revolution had brought liberty, it also marked a radical shift to conservatism. The new Iran rejected all forms of Western influence and imposed strict Islamic laws, with especially severe restrictions for women, who were now forbidden from performing solo in public. In such a climate, being a female rapper in itself is an act of rebellion.
It's hard to be a woman in Iran. It's one of the hardest things, since 1979, a very big majority of artists, especially women, have been eliminated from music stages in public. We are always in the background in this culture. I never feel secure as a female artist in Iran.
تهران یه چیزی رو تو من کشته تهران من هنو دستم مشت تهران آسمون سیاه چرده اینجا کسی آزاد میشه که مرده.
It's a cultural genocide somehow, based on the fear of the influence of music and art and women in society.
این درا که بسته صدقل پنجره رو واکن یه هوای خاکستری کاسب میده به مشتری کنار چراغ برق تنه درخت مستقیم رفته تا خود واکن پنجره رو واکن منو خودم.
My very first single is called Tehran, and it is the outcome of a tiny part of my experience in this merciless metropolis. It reminds me of the dark and close, suffocating atmosphere of Tehran. It's disgusting but real, and that was the reason I wrote Tehran.
تهران یه دایره است خیلی بزرگ شعاعش ولی جلو چش کورت عمرم بره سوراخش و من میچرخم رو دایره از سر به بلند قامت جامعه ندارم ترسی نه حدی نه مرزی نه هیچی نمیتونه بگیره خطی از دفترم بکن یه کاغذ سفید اگه میتونی بپوشونی با سیاهی بالا ترس تو گاهی ستاره از تلاش بی حد ماه روشنیشو قایم میکنه نداره.
I think if we aren't considering how our work relates to the current socio-political landscape, then we are missing out something. I wanted to make a change, and rap music has that option. You know, in 2019, there was waves starting to protest because of economic problems.
The Iranian protests of 2019 were the most violent anti-government protests Iran had seen since the revolution of '79. High inflation and an ongoing economic crisis had led to growing resentment amongst the masses, and a steep rise in oil prices became the eventual trigger. Violent clashes took place all across the country, known as Bloody November. Roody's song Jome reminisces such events from Iran's past.
میسپرم گوشتو برو مخترین تنین تهران صدای وای جمعه اسیر هوفشم به تکرار روزای غلیظ پر جمعیت ترین شهر سالای اخیر حتی دیوارای خونه سلول زندان هرچی رنگ میزنیم شده پاک روز بعد انگار خوره دارن همه دیوارای توی شهر اینا از دفتر و دست و سر من و تو میترسن چون میدونن قرار سال بعد رفوزشن ما چی
You know, Jome in Persian culture is the weekend, but it's not like a very happy weekend. You know, the very big events and the mass murders happen on Friday.
میگن هرچی بیشتر به ترسی بیشتر میشی وحشی شما ما رو ببخشین زندانا مثال کشتی کشتی نوح
Creating pieces like Friday is a necessity, you know, to contemplate, resist and express the thing that I am banned from doing as an artist and as a woman by a totalitarian regime.
اگه ماه بودم میشستم لبه یه بوم به سیاهی شب میدادم روشنی و نشون اگه ماه بودم و هیله‌گر اوضاع فرق میکرد از لایه در میدادم دستمو بشون اگه ماه بودم میشستم لبه یه بوم به سیاهی شب میدادم روشنی و نشون اگه ماه بودم و هیله‌گر اوضاع فرق میکرد از لایه در میدادم دستمو بشون باغ خرابی شکوفه ریخت از جیگر بیگناه گذشت گلوله تیر شد چیزی که نباید میشد حوض سیاه شب پر رنگ تر از ماهی سفید بیا
Roody creates work that gives the peek behind the veil of an otherwise elusive nation, with faith in the ability of music to act as a source of solidarity and change.
You know, the powerful are fully aware of the power of protest, even though they rarely acknowledge it. As Martin Luther King said, music was a key component of the American civil rights movement. So there is no doubt that songs galvanize people to face the brutal cruelty.
هیله‌گر اوضاع فرق میکرد از لایه در میدادم دستمو بشون اگه ماه بودم میشستم لبه یه بوم به سیاهی شب میدادم روشنی و نشون اگه ماه بودم و هیله‌گر اوضاع فرق میکرد از لایه در میدادم دستمو بشون